You can adjust the behavior of Krillin's third hit of the auto combo by holding forward during it. This is the standard version. You stay grounded with a -5 normal that has 11 frame startup. This is the version when you hold forward. The startup slows down, going to frame 13, and you lose 1 frame of advantage, but you'll note the most important thing here is that Krillin actually jumps and goes airborne. He doesn't have any anti-air frames during this, so I don't really think this is something that you can mash out on neutral, and I think it's going to cover a few different angles for him and maybe lead to some other combo routing. In my brief period of testing with this, there is one strong application I can find for this change, and that's when Krillin is in Spark. Because he goes airborne, you can instantly cancel from this move into an air dash JL that will beat the opponent's 6-frame mash. So now Krillin has a strong way of looping sparking pressure against the opponent that doesn't rely on any ki blast. This is actually kind of crazy. However, do be aware that frame 4 reversals and 2H will beat this clean. Still, it's not like this is the only thing Krillin can do out of this position. He can keep you guessing by mixing up his options. A jump cancel J2S, for example, would cleanly beat out the 2H. Like the rest of the cast, Krillin can cancel his jump specials into jump heavies. Additionally, if you push back or forward during his down jump special attack, he's able to actually move through it. So you can give him a little bit of drift, and this helps him with some of the new cancels he can do. That's without the momentum. And that's an example of what you can do with the momentum. Because Krillin relies a lot on his JS's in terms of his neutral as well as his combo structure, I feel like this change in particular benefits Krillin a lot more than many other characters. So be on the lookout for Krillin having even more damage than he already did before, or even better pressure sequences. With the changes to his jump 2S, we are now able to see that he's able to more consistently get combos off of this, being able to control which way he flies. Courtesy of Super Larry. On top of the improved consistency, he also benefits a lot from being able to cancel these jump specials into jump heavies, courtesy of Burrito here. If you pick up a Senzu bean, you now gain a full bar a meter for it. Absolutely insane change to give to the character. He's already a great battery, so why give him this extra support utility on top of that? I don't quite understand what the point of this is outside of just making it so that Krillin can potentially rejuvenate his life, but also build a bar for his team passively. Krillin's Chain Destructor Disc Super, the follow-up to his Destructor Disc, has been buffed. Before, you could cash out an extra 5 times. Once scaling kicked in, the disc in the middle would do 330 damage, while the final disc would do 550. Now, Krillin can throw up to 9 discs, and each disc only costs half of a bar. Ultimately, it's the same cash out that he had before, 5 bars of super gauge. It's interesting to note, though, that the damage has been adjusted a little bit. The central disc, once scaling applied, only deal 165 damage, while the final disc still deals 550 damage. This does result in a slight damage buff, as before, Krillin dealt 4,360 damage, whereas here, he deals 4,415 damage. I think this change basically means that Krillin does a little more damage when he does a full cash out with the discs, but up till that point, he actually does less damage while also spending less bar for it. It's an interesting way of approaching this part of his kit, I guess. I'm not sure why entirely they changed it, but fundamentally, it is a nerf up to a point where it does become a buff, so we'll see what implication this has for Krillin cashing out in combos. All of Krillin's assists have seen changes, so let's go through them one by one. Starting with his A assist, much like his Senzu Bean special move, if you throw out the bean with Krillin's assist, you now also gain bar for picking it up. It's a full bar a meter as well. Now, this is some nice utility for it to go on top of the fact that you do get a heal up to all of your blue life using this version of the assist, but most people are still going to be using this assist for its untouched, potent rock form. Krillin's B assist also received a change. You can fire it normally by simply tapping the assist button. However, if you hold up as you do this, Krillin will now rise during the Kamehameha. It's a little bit different from other Kamehamehas like Gotenks that rise up as well, because Gotenks will first rise and then fire. Krillin fires the beam and then floats up, giving this a lot more screen presence than some other assists that have the similar function to it. We'll see if anyone wants to pick this up, but honestly, I don't know how this is still going to be able to compete with his A assist. Like many other C assists, Krillin's had its startup reduced as well. This was the old startup. 28 frames. And now, this is the new startup. 25 frames, so not as substantial as many other assists, but it's still in line with it being a full-screen jump scare. Again, I think my point still stands. While all of his other assists have been buffed slightly, I don't know how it's going to compete with his amazing A assist. Krillin was one of the strongest characters in the previous patch, especially in an anchor position, and I very much feel like he's going to maintain that status going forward in this patch. His combo game has been improved to be more consistent, which helps the character overall perform more consistently within tournament situations, and he has even more utility now that Senzu Bean also gives additional bar upon usage. The fact that his EX After Image special move was not touched at all in terms of iframes is something that still baffles me, as many of the other problem moves in this patch, like Vegeta Super Saiyan Blues, as well as Cell's Perfect Attack moves, were touched, is something that just drives me crazy. I can't believe it. Like, Krillin was able to dodge that bullet. Maybe it's because there is actually some counterplay that you can do to that move, because you can jump out of it, you can time a fuzzy mash correctly against it, and it does namely enable Krillin's ability to mix up in the corner and be able to ignore sparking through it, but there's so much other utilities that EX After Image move, and so many other strong parts of Krillin's kit that I felt maybe could have been dealt with a touch, but instead, he didn't receive any nerfs, he instead only received buffs, and so I think that he's going to continue to be one of the best characters in the patch.